Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy Pronounce. Me, Isabel here with my September TBR. So I don't usually do TBRs, but I've been struggling with deciding what to pick up lately. And I think I'm overwhelmed by choice. So here's the deal. I am going to have a TBR that includes 15 books, well 12 books and 3 prompts for me to pick up some things in September. Will I read all of these? Probably not. I'm gonna just go ahead and flat out say probably not. But will I read most of them? Probably. A lot of these are books that I've been getting from the library and haven't gotten to yet, or have returned and rechecked out multiple times. So I wanted to try and like prioritize a couple of these things and some things that I've been excited about and just keep not picking up. So I thought having a note with my TBR on my phone where when I'm like, what do I want to read, that I can go to might be helpful. So let's dive right into this list. So first up we have Sarah Kate. I have been wanting to read Praise for a while, but I'm going to Authors in the Bluegrass in the beginning of October. So October 1st, I will be at that book event. If you're there, feel free to say hi to me. Would love to run into anyone there. But yeah, there's some authors attending that I haven't read from that I would like to read from, one of which is Sarah Kate. So she's gonna be the first one on my list that like I prioritize, because if I like her books, I would definitely want to pick up that whole series signed from her because I can drive my books home. So she'll be at Authors in the Bluegrass. Praise is a ex-boyfriend's dad book and features heavy praise king. So very interested in this, very curious about it. It seems right up my alley and like something I would like. Then we have Can't Catch Me by Alexandra Warren. This is on my KU TBR right now. This is a football romance and it's fall's coming. I know it's not fall yet, but fall is coming and I am definitely in the mood for some football and sports romances, and I would like to read more of Alexandra Warren's backlist, so this is a great starting point for me to start diving into that. This is a black love and it is angsty, I believe, so I'm really excited to see where I fall on it. Next, we have Bet on It by Jody Slaughter. This was a highly anticipated release for me this year in 2022, and I want to make sure I get to as many of my new releases that I want to read as I can. This features a bingo sex pact and it's set in South Carolina, so I always love picking up those books. I used to live in South Carolina, so I always think it's interesting reading books from places I've lived. And the audio just came in for me from the library, so it would be good to get through it. Then we have A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy Ellen, something like that. This is a YA fantasy book with magic around teas, and I believe she accidentally kills her mother. I just got the audiobook from the library again. I've checked it out a couple times now, and I would just really like to read it. It sounds like the kind of YA fantasy that I personally really enjoy, and I would like to kind of dabble in a few other genres this month because I feel like I'm not burnt out on romance, but I just need to change it up a little bit for myself outside of manga. Then we have Homicide on Hollow Hollow by Mia P. Maniscalco. This is a cozy mystery series I really like. I really enjoyed Arsenic and Adobo, so I'm hoping this one continues to deliver. It is another one I have gotten from the library multiple times. I have delayed the hold many times. I just need to read it so I can let it go back and other people read it and not be the one constantly checking it back out. This has been on my TBR since it came out and I just really want to get to it sooner than later. I really enjoy these cozy mysteries. I find them really, really funny and enjoyable. They also make me really, really hungry, but that's fine. We can get through that. Then I have Four Aunties and a Wedding, the same as Homicide and Hollow Hollow. This is a cozy mystery. The first book was like a funny murder. Like I put it in the same category as Finley Donovan, and I just need to get to this one. I want to see how the romance wraps up in it and how the relationship goes in this. This one is by Jessie Q. Sutanato. FYI, sorry about that. I don't know why my brain just booped on the author there. But yeah, it just looks like a fun time. I know my mom enjoyed both of those last two, and like I said, they've been on my TBR for a while, so it would just be good to get through them sooner than later. Next, we have The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels by India Hold. I am sold on this one because of the fact that it's like steampunk historical, and I don't feel like we've gotten a lot of new steampunk historicals in a long time. So for me, that's like a big selling point and makes me want to pick this up sooner than later. I think my mom actually read it and said it was okay, and I know some other people that loved it and didn't love it, so I'm just curious to see what I think of it. The house like moves, so that just sounds interesting to me at the end of the day. Then I have Paladins Grace by T. Kingfisher on my list as well. I want to pick this up because I saw that Katie Robert loved it, and I read What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher and really liked that. So Paladins Grace is the first book in a series called The Saint of Steel. And it's about a paladin whose god dies, and he runs into a fugitive and witnesses an assassination attempt gone wrong. And he has to like navigate things. This sounds really interesting to me. It sounds like the kind of fantasy like book I like, if that makes sense. It's not really romance, but I think it'll have like some romantic elements potentially. But it just sounds like a nice change of pace, and it sounds really interesting to me at least. And I'm really excited to pick it up. The next one is The Princess and the Scoundrel by Beth Rivas. This is a Star Wars book. If you didn't know, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. I love Star Wars. I don't read a ton of the books, but when I saw this was coming out, I knew I had to read it, and I just got my hold-in from the library again as well. But this follows Leia and Han as they plan their wedding and things go awry. So what more do I need from life? Not much. This pretty much sums it up, to be honest with you. So I'm really, really excited to see where this goes, because I absolutely love Star Wars, and I love Han, and I love Leia. I especially love Leia. So I just would really like to see this book and have it, like, read it and really love it. So fingers crossed it is worthy of a buy for my shelves. Then we of course have the memoir of the year, of the season. I don't know, everybody's talking about this book, and that is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I'm interested in this because I'm very intrigued and curious to learn more about how child stars from my youth and like a little bit younger than me were treated at the time, because I feel like we didn't get a lot in that. And then now as I've gotten older, we're hearing more and more horror stories about their treatment in the industry. So for me, I really want to read this. This also has to do like with her mom pushing her to be a star. And I think in today's culture of like mommy vloggers and TikTokers and like child influence things, like I'm a mom and here's my child influencing on things. This is just a really interesting conversation to be kicking off and having. So I'm excited to listen to this, I guess, as excited as you can be, because it sounds like it is going to be a rough read, but it is very high on my TBR. I did get an audio copy of this from Libra FM through their ARC program. If you have a large enough platform, you can sign up and get ARCs from them. Also, Libra FM is a great alternative to your Audibles and those things. So I also would like to read Duel with the Vampire Lord by Elise Kova. I have not read Dance with the Fae Prince yet, but for me the vampire one interests me more, so I'm just gonna skip ahead to it. I may loop back to the other one too. They're all standalone Married to Magic series. Her next one's a merman. I'm very curious. But this is Enemies to Lovers. I really love this cover, and I really liked Deal with the Elf King. So like I enjoyed that one. I would like to continue. These are definitely kind of the thing that like makes you like, they're like a nice slow fantasy world usually, her books, and I really enjoy that aspect of them, so I'm excited to dive into another book by her. Then of course I have Nikki the Driver by Kate C. Wells, which means I will be rereading Run Posey Run like right before this comes out. This is the sequel to Run Posey Run, one of my favorite dark romances I read last year. Yeah, I think it came out last year. I loved that book. That book made me fall in love with Kate C. Wells, so I'm very, very excited to read Nikki the Driver and to reread Run Posey Run. If you haven't checked these out, Run Posey Run is your sociopath hero who doesn't have feelings, and like they're not in love with each other in the beginning, and then like they separate, she goes on the run, and he kidnaps her back and makes her, like, they fall back in love, and he learns that he does care for some people, one person. So that's really exciting and fun. The other thing is I have the 3 prompts that I would like to accomplish this month. One is to pick up another Christina C. Jones backlist title. I have a tracker on my Notion where I'm tracking all of Christina C. Jones's titles and reading them as I can. And I've not been doing it lately. I've kind of taken a break, so I would like to make sure I pick up at least one this month. I don't have a particular one in mind. If you have a suggestion, let me know. I have read all of the Love Sisters, the Wright brothers, Vegas Nights, and I've started the Ante Up series. So feel free to drop a suggestion of which one you think I should read this fall. Then I also want to read a witch book this month. I don't know which one. So if you have a witch book you think I should read, leave it in the comments, but I definitely want to make sure I pick up at least one witch book because I have quite a few on my TBR and I have quite a few just kind of that I've thought about picking up and haven't yet. And then last but not least is my members book club pick for my members on YouTube and Patreon. Whatever book wins. Right now, the only book that has been submitted, which this will have been decided before this goes up, I'll leave it in the comments for y'all, is The Alpha Tyrant's Rejected Mate by Kate C. Wells is currently the only option from my members. So we'll see if they submit some other options. And if not, that's fine. That might be what we read. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, they will be picking that. So I'll put it in a pinned comment down below in case you're curious, and getting a dedicated blog for it. So that's my TBR for September. Will I read any of these? I don't know. I'm going to try. My goal is to read at least half. I'm testing TBRs right now because, again, I generally don't do well with them, but I've been struggling, and I think it might help me to have this to track myself. So we'll come back at the end of the month and we'll see if I did it. Let me know in the comments something on your TBR for September. If you don't want to do that, leave me a leaf emoji of your choice, because y'all, I swear to God, like, August 1's Halloween season, okay? But like September 1 is when I'm like, summer no more. You do not exist to me. So we're gonna pretend it's fall already and that it is not 90 degrees outside. Sound like a plan? I think that sounds like a plan. I will have links to all these books in that description box for you, as well as links to my friend anywhere on the internet. And I will talk to y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away.